Joel Connor, Chairman and CEO of Belissio Foods Incorporated. Joel, you've had quite a history supporting SIFE, and you've had a chance to see it change over the years. How would you describe the changes that you've seen?
Well, frankly, Ellen, I think the decision to take SIFE globally was unquestionably one of the biggest changes that I've seen in the SIFE organization in the 15 years that I've been involved. Although, having said that, back to the time that I first engaged SIFE, you could put the entire board of 20 or 25 or maybe 30 people, obviously, in a small conference room. And today, with over 200 board members and being in 41 countries and 1,700 campuses, it is a phenomenal change. And just simply the outreach that we have I've been with SIFE teams in South Africa, I've been with SIFE teams in Ghana, I've been with SIFE teams in Europe in various places. And it's been a tremendous metamorphosis and a global growth and a global reach that we have now today.
Well, with that growth, what would you say has really sparked the growth and caused people to support the organization?
Well, those are really two different questions. I mean, the interest in SIFE is a very organic kind of thing. Both, I think, for the students, for the Sam Walton Fellows, but also for the business community that supports it. As a business person, the thing that I continue to see that's so remarkable and so refreshing in SIFE is this really broad-based support among gender support, ethnic support, even age support. There are a number of older students that are engaged in a number of campuses. As a business person, the thing that is exciting to me is that SIFE is something that when I was in college, when I was in undergraduate school, simply wasn't available. It really is a tremendous opportunity to get a jump start on a career that if I go back to the time when I was an undergraduate student, simply didn't exist. I remember being on a college campus about a week before spring break and speaking to a SIFE team there, and knowing that spring break was coming up, I remember asking them what it was that their plans were, asking different students what they were going to do for spring break. And these SIFE students were committed to stay on campus during their week-long spring break to work on their competition, because the regional competitions were a week after their spring break would be over, and they were giving up their spring break to do something that they weren't getting credit for, they weren't getting paid for. It was good for them, it was good for their community, it was good for their campus, but really it was a sensational and, again, very, very sort of organic commitment and a very ground roots kind of engagement. So those are the big reasons, or the big things that I think make it connect and resonate so well with people.
We see the students working hard at SIFE, but what is it that they're getting out of the experience?
Oh, well, what are SIFE students getting out of participation? I mean, on a very real basis, they are getting the skills, the training, the resume building that put them head and shoulders above other students in this very, very difficult economy, worst job market that we've seen in 26 years. I will tell you, I think very few of them do it for that reason. I think that they're much more altruistic. I think they do it because they believe in it. I think they do it because they believe that it makes their campus a better campus. They do it because they believe it makes their community a better community. Truly an example of doing well by doing good, because very few of them, I think, when they get involved in SIFE, really can project forward to see the impact that it's going to have on them personally in terms of their resume and their job skills. That happens to be a wonderful byproduct, because that is the payoff for them when it's over. But on an interim basis, the sort of things that they do, again, teaching entrepreneurship, teaching free enterprise on their campuses, in their community, the engagement, the teamwork, it's a wonderful thing.
And moving forward, how do you hope to see SIFE grow?
Well, clearly SIFE's emphasis on this triple bottom line: environmental sustainability, social responsibility, financial performance. We are really at the early edge. We're at the cutting edge, at the early guard in changing the way that America and changing the way really that the world does business. It is no longer enough to be focused simply on the financial bottom line. That is the business mentality of old. it really requires, doing business today really requires a much more comprehensive look and a much more comprehensive appreciation of what really performance is. And it is those three things: environmental sustainability, social responsibility, and financial performance.
So do you think SIFE students will then bring those factors to the workplace?
I think that in many ways, this new triple bottom line gives students something which resonates with them much, much more loudly than if it were simply financial performance. I think that there's always been a strong resonance for the SIFE agenda with students, but I think really the addition of environmental sustainability and social responsibility to the financial performance make it a grassroots kind of effort that will help spread the SIFE agenda across the world.
Mm-hmm. You've been involved with SIFE for quite a long time and made a number of friends.
Right.
Can you comment about the connections that you make through SIFE?
Right. Well, that's a terrific and interesting question. You know, I have often said that the things that I have learned through my fellow CEOs at SIFE have taught me as much or more than any contribution that I've ever been able to make. I look at a guy like Jack Shoemaker, for example, and Jack Shoemaker, the former vice chairman of Walmart, just simply one of the hardest working, toughest individuals, will not take no for an answer. I mean, if you talk about someone with whom there is just simply never a white flag, it's Jack Shoemaker. You look at someone like Bob Rich. The thing that Bob Rich taught me about business is that it is okay to have fun, to enjoy it, to be funny, to laugh a lot, and to be totally laser focused on outcomes and on performance, that they are not mutually exclusive. And again, I thank Bob Rich for that. But, you know, guys like Doug Conant, for example, you know, Doug has brought absolute discipline and linear thinking, the likes of which SIFE certainly, I think that the chairman's office at SIFE had never had before in the demonstrative way that Doug brought it. Tom Mosier brought us from KPMG, brought us really the focus, and not just the focus, but really the organizational skills to take us international, because KPMG was active in so many countries, and so it was a logical and linear place for us to go. But I look forward to my engagement and my continued engagement as SIFE as sort of my own doctoral program of business education.
And finally, what about the students? What kind of connections are they making through the program?
Well, you know, again, I go back to my earlier comment. The thing that most of us who are business people look at and yearn for in the SIFE that we see is an organization that wasn't on campus when most of us were there. It's an opportunity to understand business, to understand free enterprise and the way in which free enterprise can change the world in a very positive way. But it also is a terrific way to have a mentorship relationship with CEOs, both here on a national level, on a global level, but also back on their campuses with the advisors and with the business mentors that support each team in those markets.
Thank you very much, Joel, and thanks for your long-time support, and we look forward as the leadership baton gets passed to you.
Hope I can catch it. Thanks, Ellen.